Told you so many times that the Democrats are coming for your guns. Of course, they try to be sneaky about it. But today, Jerry Nadler finally said the quiet part out loud.
Would anyone on the other side dispute that this bill would ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today?
Would the gentleman yield?
I would, for an answer to that question.
Yeah, that's the point of the bill.
So to clarify, Mr. Chairman, you're saying it is the point of the bill to ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today?
Yes, the problem is
if the gentleman will yield.
Joining me now is the man who got Nadler to squeal, Congressman Dan Bishop of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, this is about gun confiscation nationwide. Nadler admitted it. You got him to admit it. Good for you.
Well, it's true, Laura. You know very well that the Heller decision held in 2008, the Supreme Court's decision that weapons that are in common use can't be banned under the Second Amendment. People have a right to keep them and bear them for self-defense. But that's what Jerry said. They marked up the bill to ban weapons of which the AR-15s and the like, and ammunition magazines, of which there are tens of millions in the United States. And they're just going to defy the United States Supreme Court. That's what they've made clear.
Do you see sheriffs as the last line of defense if the federal government did look for ways to massively confiscate firearms?
I do, and I would go back to what I said 2 years ago was well publicized. A sheriff such as myself, and I'm speaking only for myself, not for other sheriffs, as I said 2 years ago in Richmond and repeated it over and over, if the Supreme Court has already ruled that weapons in common use, and AR-15, high-cap mags, and so on should be allowed. Okay, we have that ruling. We have a Constitution that says what it does. So that said, as a sheriff, I have the ability to decide whether there's a line there being crossed. But unlike other sheriffs across the nation, when they weighed into that argument a couple of years ago, saying, well, I won't say what I'll do, but I won't allow an unconstitutional law to be enforced. I've never said that, and often got confused with other sheriffs who did. That's not my approach. My approach is much more simplistic, and I'm going to use the office of sheriff, the power I do have, without arguing over a bill or law that's being passed. I have the ability to swear in citizens as deputy sheriffs. I have no limit on the number. I don't have a limit to my county borders. And as I told them in Richmond, and I mean it today, just as well if Congress chooses to go down that road, I will swear in tens of thousands of citizens as deputy sheriffs, provided they have their own weapons and be on call and available to me for service. And they will be allowed to keep those AR-15s, high-capacity magazines, and whatever else it is, generally speaking, that's being talked about through all the chatter and rhetoric. These people are not going to suddenly, because they're sworn in as my deputy sheriff, start to run out and commit crimes and do bad things with the guns they've owned for decades. They're citizens that elected me into office to protect them and protect their rights. And that's one way I can use the power of my office legally to do what I need to do to protect their rights to own those weapons for defense. But more importantly, many people get lost, it gets a little blurry. The Second Amendment was not written for self-defense or for hunting or anything else. It was written for a specific reason, and we need to go back to focusing on what the meaning of that amendment was for and never lose sight of that. And along the way, yes, it does involve the protection of yourself, your family, and others, and sporting and other reasons. But too often, the left in their rhetoric try to drown out the true cause of why we must always allow our country, based on the founding and those amendments, to continue to be able to have those weapons, have the things that are guaranteed them by those Bill of Rights. And sheriffs may be just that last line of defense to say, no, that's a line you won't cross. I know I'm certainly one of those people.